Welcome to the 5 Reasons Sports Post Game Show, aka the Post Up on 5R. Fellas, I'm trying to figure out what year it is, bro. Because after what I just watched, I think we are in the 2020-2021 season. Because if anybody was looking for a reason as to why Kyle Lowry is so important to this team, we just saw it. The Heat could not get anything going offensively and defensively. It just looked like the same thing that we went through last year. And so in order to avoid regressing back to what I was, because it's only game 2, I want to shout out our sponsor, Aggressive Insurance, the primary sponsor of the 5 Reasons Sports Post-Game Show. You can find her on Instagram or go to her website, www.insurancebylynette.com. Call her at 954-581-8800. You can see it along the bottom. She's going to be she's a longtime friend of the network, first-time member of the Post-Game Show. So make sure you check her out for all of your insurance needs. And don't worry, I promise to give you a better promo later on. But we got some shit to talk about, fellas. So I'll just let y'all start. I ain't gonna, kind of warm you up. No lube tonight. Got my man Gadiel Cartagena and Ariel Latias as usual. And joining me tonight, I had to enlist some members of the Kane gang. My man Kendall and my guy Troy.
Yeah,
we're gonna start with the OGs. Can I call y'all OGs at this point? Either way, Gad, you look like you should say something first. Gad, tell me your thoughts on tonight's game.
I'm wearing a mask because Jimmy Butler makes me fucking sick.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
We can talk about a trillion different reasons why we lost this game. At the end of the day, the main reason is 22. It really is. You can't miss that many layups, point blank looks against a team where you're the only guy who's getting to the rim. You're not looking to get Bam involved. Herro's saving your ass on late shot clocks. I mean, we could talk about Spo. There wasn't really much offense being ran, but you can't play this poorly in your first game without Kyle Lowry. Like, this is supposed to be your team. He's still supposed to be the best player on this team. He was one of the worst players on the floor tonight, just high volume.
Ariel, no, fuck that, Ariel. You go last because you're going to be the only person who disagrees. Thank you, Poetic Lifestyle, for the $4.99. Don't know. He said it's safe to say Herro needed some help tonight. For sure. But we're going to get them. Trust me, we're going to get into everybody individually who needs blame. But I want to hear from one of these Kangs. So, Ken, I'm going to let you go first. Give me your thoughts on the game, bro.
It's a very disappointing game. Like Gad said, first game without Kyle Lowry. For Jimmy to look that bad, especially coming off a blowout, your legs should have been rested. Yes, you had to travel, but it was just a terrible game, like, from him on the offensive end. Like, you're our leader. Yes, I know it's game 2, Alana, but for a Heat fan like me, it does not matter. Like, you have to produce. You just got your extension, man. Like, you're supposed to lead our team night in, night out. You have to show up, like, on the offensive end, and he did not do that, and we lost the game because of Jimmy Butler.
Threat?
Hey, man. People know. Hey, I've been waiting. I've been waiting for this. You know what I'm saying? Because people was talking a whole lot of shit. I'm here now. The power forward rotation, the big man rotation was atrocious. 0 for 3 from PJ Tucker, 0 points. You get nothing, essentially nothing from Markieff Morris. 2 games in a row now. 3 for 10 like the last game. 2 for 6 this game. Dedmon, oh my God! It looked like he didn't have any legs under him at all. Jimmy Butler was atrocious. I'm disappointed he missed so many point blank layups. That was a piss poor performance. But we had nothing from our bench unit, nothing at all. Nothing outside of Herro. We had nothing from our bench unit and those other guys. That was a shit show.
I was about to say you sounded crazy when you said we had nothing off our bench. The only thing we had came from the goddamn bench. Yeah, for sure. Ariel, go ahead and try and give us some objectivity. Is that the word that you're going to use, bro?
Probably. I mean, look, man, I get the frustration in the moment. It's very easy to get lost in it all. Yes, Jimmy played like crap. You want more out of him. You need more out of him when Kyle Lowry's, not suiting up for the team. You kind of expect him to go back into the role that he was in last year, right? Where like he's the primary everything for the team. He's got the ball in his hands. He's initiating offense. He's doing everything. But May I remind you all, this is game 2 of an 82-game season, and the Heat had a ton of issues tonight that don't fall squarely on Jimmy Butler's shoulders. For example, they rebounded like crap. I know if you look at the rebounding numbers at the end of the night, the Heat won the rebounding battle by 1, or it's like just about tied. Things kind of leveled out in the fourth quarter or so when the Heat went on that little run. But when the Heat, when they got into that deficit, it was because they were getting beat to loose balls. They were getting out rebounded. Offensive rebounds were killing them, and they were closing out terribly. The defensive rotations were awful on the perimeter, and guys were getting good looks. So all of that stuff contributes equally to this loss. I agree, Jimmy needs to play better, for sure. But he didn't play in every preseason game. He only played in a couple of them, if I remember correctly, and he played short minutes. Secondly, it's game 2 of an 82-game season. They played awful, and they were right there at the end of regulation with a chance to win. Does it hurt? Yes. Do we have to go off the rails and say that the $180 million man doesn't deserve that contract and all that? Come on, get out of here. Find your guts. That's nonsense.
Thank you, Question Everything, for the $2 dono. He said those bailout Butler threes, though, putrid.
Those were on him, too. Some of those were on him. Let me tell you. Can I start, Royal? Can I just speak on one? Because this one play.
Well,
really
you can speak on this thing after this. Thank you, Jason Adebayo, for the $4.99. Don't know. He said, "LOL." You can't say it's just game 2 when we saw these same offensive struggles from Jimmy in the playoffs last year.
You're going to take a 4-game sample size and decide that that's what writes the book on a player who we literally just saw lead a team to a finals run and take 2 games off of LeBron James and Anthony Davis with 2 of his best players missing. Come on, man.
No, we didn't just see that. We saw that in the bubble. We just saw him get swept by the Milwaukee Bucks. Go ahead.
I'm saying that was a calendar year ago, though.
It's Gad time to talk. We'll get back to you. Everybody gonna be on your ass tonight, area. So you're gonna have plenty of time to argue.
I'm the only one who has guts.
No, listen, I
got brains.
From the macro perspective on this team, absolutely not. But going back to Jimmy Butler, and I think it was Question Everything, like that 3 that he took, I think there was like 2 minutes left in the game. He had Malcolm Brogdon in the corner, jab to the left side, jab again, and then dribble out to the wing and take a step back 3. You know that's not going in. Who
and tried to draw a foul too.
Just
you said you were going to analyze on the macro level, and you went into the micro level. You're talking about one specific play.
Don't correct Gadiel Cartagena on this show.
No, Ariel. I'm saying the macro level. This team is total. This doesn't worry me at all for the whole season. I'm just saying tonight, like the decision making from Jimmy Butler was that of a rookie. You can't these are the things you can't do. You can't afford to bleed 10 seconds off the clock, and then you end up. You're not a good late shot clock guy. That's simply just who he is. Mm-hmm. You're not able to do that. If he wants to take those 10 seconds, get out to the wing, and then try to get a drive, that's fine. Either catch and shoot or go to the rim. Although he might be missing it at the rim based on tonight. But just a lot of questionable decision-making. But it was ugly. Am I worried for the rest of the year? Absolutely not. They're going to be totally fine. But tonight was ugly, and we can criticize that. I don't think there's anything crazy for saying that.
Totally agree. I'm just trying to offer some perspective as to why we don't need to overreact to one game. But I totally agree with you.
No,
absolutely.
Fuck perspective.
No, fuck perspective.
So, no, I kind of want to talk about that a little bit. Like, does that not worry you at all, Ariel, that one person can take a team looking like a world beater exactly to what we were bitching and moaning about all of last year? Does that not signal that the way this team is constructed is flawed?
Like, yes and no. So, yes, because coming into the season, I think we all kind of generally agreed that they're one injury to one of their significant guys away from having a really shallow bench, right? Outside of Tyler Herro, I don't feel super comfortable with any of those guys. Dedmon's good here and there. I like Dedmon, but I'm not, he's not a high-level rotation player. He's like an 8th or 9th man in the NBA. Max Strus, same thing. Markieff Morris shouldn't be in most rotations in the NBA. So, yes, on this in the sense that you lose Kyle Lowry or you lose Bam or you lose Jimmy, and you're now basically last year's team. That's, if they play out a full season with that kind of roster, you're a few games over 500 and you're fighting for somewhere in the 6, 7, 8 seed area. But at the same time, on paper, this team, as if they're healthy, I don't have any of those concerns. Now, I know that that's not a given, but let's not act like a team like this that was put together this summer for the purpose of winning a championship this season, not next season, not in 2 seasons, this season. Let's not act like this team doesn't have avenues to improve, doesn't have hopefully a Victor Oladipo on the way, and that they aren't going to be major players in the buyout market and maybe even the trade market, because Pat Riley isn't trying to wait until next year or the year after to win a championship. So Am I going to make, judgments like, oh, this team has a massive issue and I am so worried for the rest of the season based on a loss on October, whatever the date is today at Indiana, where the Heat have historically struggled to win games? No. Does it annoy me? Yes. But I think we need to have a little bit of perspective here.
No,
Game two.
Your perspective is annoying me. Kendall, let's bitch and moan about this game, bro. Like,
let's have that in, my brother.
Yeah, bro. Like
I'm a game by game basis guy.
Yeah,
so,
bro.
Yeah,
like I don't give a damn about Ariel's perspective right now. Yes, okay, whatever. Big words and flashy sentences. I don't give a shit about that. I care about the fact that when Kyle Lowry was not playing in this game, Jimmy Butler did not show up. and that's what this game boiled down to for me. In situations like this, yes, there were games last year. This team looked exactly like last year, and Jimmy knew last year every game that he did not play up to par, we were going to take an L. He knew that going into this game. Give me a couple of reasons why you don't think, and we'll focus this on Jimmy then. Tell me why you believe it was that Jimmy Butler ended up with 19 points on 7 for 22.
Why he ended up with it?
Yeah. Why? How did this happen?
Honestly, I'm not even sure. Jimmy, he on the offensive end, he made very little impact to me. Like, I don't remember like him having any moments where he really he just kept going and driving to the basket. And I just feel like on offense, like if he can't get to that basket cleanly, like he just struggles. And I even feel like as a playmaker, it wasn't there. It wasn't any smoothness to our offense. Like at one point we had 20 turnovers. Luckily on defense, we played very good in that third quarter. So it kept us in the game, to be honest, like giving up 8 points. But on offense, it was just a struggle. And like Jimmy, his jumper, like there's no jump shot with Jimmy. It's like I see things with Bam. Bam's improved. Tyler has improved in the mid-range, him getting to his spots, him creating a little space and separation. This is something I even said on the clutch corner. Where is Jimmy Butler's improvement as a player? Like, we know what he's going to bring to a basketball game in and game out, but, like, why is his jump shot not improving? Like, that's what I have a problem with, and I think this is one of those games where he needed his jump shot, and it wasn't there.
I think to respond to that, like, why is his jump shot not improving? I think his problem is it's like he's not self-aware that his jump shot is broke. Like, you can be bad as a jump shooter, just don't take the bad shots. That's my problem with tonight is, like, we were getting a lot of shots that people aren't good at. And it was Markieff Morris and Jimmy Butler in the fourth quarter. It was just like, why are you taking these shots? Let other players take those kinds of shots. I'm fine with Jimmy running up attempts. Just don't take these like stupid threes when you don't have to.
Thank you. Don't mind me for the 199. Don't know. He said, let's talk about Boy Wonder, not those dumpster fires. We'll get to him in a second, but I want to keep talking about Jimmy Butler because he's the highest paid player on this team and he's the most important player on this team, or should be on most nights. Threat. I think one of the things that was kind of pissing me off about Jimmy Butler is when usually he's struggling on offense, the other areas of his game kind of elevate to kind of help us in those situations. So when his shot's not falling, last year he was facilitating a whole lot more, getting other people involved. And to Kendall's point, that shit was not happening tonight. Even in overtime, in like the first two possessions, the Pacers attacked Jimmy on that switch, which is a byproduct of not having Kyle here for sure. But they attacked him on that switch that he had on Sabonis. And Sabonis got 2 buckets right out the gate on Jimmy Butler. Talk about like the other parts of Jimmy's game, not just the offense, but the other parts of Jimmy's game that were lacking tonight.
Man, it's weird seeing a game like that from Jimmy, man. You usually don't see that, man. They killed us on that, dribble drive between Sabonis and Brogdon late in that game, and them having to come over and help at the end of the possession, and Sabonis getting an easy one. That was tough to watch, man. You usually see Jimmy, jump the passing lanes and get an easy bucket on the other end. You know what I'm saying? We usually see that, but it seemed like nothing was going for him on either side. He was zero impact, man. And this is supposed to be our king. This is supposed to be the king of the Heat, and we didn't see that. This is supposed to be our king, and we didn't see it at all. I'm in utter disbelief. I just wish we kind of, if he's not going to be our king this night, defer more to Bam. I feel like we kind of got away from Bam, and he was cooking early in the game. Like, motherfucker, we go away from Bam. Let him cook up.
Yeah, so let's get to some of that a little bit. Thank you, Kachi and Chisholm, for the $2 dono or Samurai Radio. He gave me a $1 dono, didn't say shit. The $2 dono, he said $1 dono didn't let me type 14 more games, baby. If you don't know, Kai thinks that the Heat will be hovering around 500 when we get to Christmas. I told him we will be undefeated. That is no longer on the table, so we will have one loss come at the Christmas break. But yeah, let's get into some of the other guys on this team. Like Bam. Like Threat just kind of mentioned early in the game, Bam was aggressive. Bam was doing the same shit that he did in the last game. And again, in the second half, in the game where I felt like we needed him, he kind of faded a little bit. Was that because of Bam? Was that because Jimmy took more of the shots, him not being involved? I'll throw this question to both Ariel and Gad. Gad, I'll start with you because Ariel looked like he's pondering an answer that I'm not going to like anyway.
We're talking about Bam's lack of aggression in the second half?
Right. We're talking about what was the reason for it. Was it he stopped being aggressive, or was it because Jimmy started taking more fucking shots?
You just said it right there. Like, Bam was – my problem with this is Jimmy was missing these shots, and that's fine if there's nowhere else to go to, but Bam was open on the roll almost the whole night. And Herro was making a concerted effort of getting him the ball sometimes. He wouldn't convert, so I don't think Herro had many assists at all. Duncan in the third quarter did a fantastic job. When he saw the double – he would give the ball to Bam on the roll, and that's how we got Miles Turner in foul trouble. That's how we were able to get things going offensively, just getting into the paint. We didn't have that from Jimmy in the fourth quarter. It was Jimmy was tunnel vision. Herro was tunnel vision. Jimmy was not hitting, and Herro was hitting. Bam just has to be we have to make a concerted effort to keep him involved in both halves. We did it to start the game, and it was beautiful. Bam was cooking. That has to keep going. You can't stop. Because Bam is the type of guy, he can give you that type of work for 30-plus minutes. But if you're not running any plays, you're not trying to get him the ball, what's the point? I mean, Bam's not someone that's going to create for himself at all times. It was frustrating because there was a mismatch to exploit there, and they just did not hunt it at all. And that's why we ended up losing. They hunted mismatches, and we didn't. We just did not do it.
So thank you, Jason Adebayo, for the $9.99. Don't know. He said Giannis doesn't need a jump shot to win because he's a 7-footer and a physical specimen. If you this can win a title without Jimmy being able to shoot, especially as constructed, you out of your mind. I do think that this team could win a title, even if Jimmy does not learn how to shoot, because we're going to be one of the better defensive teams in the league, and we're going to be opportunistic offensively. But I don't believe that we can survive this being Jimmy's baseline. Like, he cannot. Every player is entitled to a bad game, but this type of performance from Jimmy, where it's like it's not only a bad game, it's a low impact game. That to me is what can't happen. He can't not have any impact on the game. Yes. Thank you, B, for the $5 dono. He said, "Why don't Jimmy realize he needs to work on his jump shoot to become a better player?" We don't know what jump shoot is on this show. But no, I want to stick to the same topic, Ariel. I want to talk about Bam. And it wasn't just the scoring that I'm talking about, him trying to shoot the ball.
Yeah.
He got out to a torrid pace at the beginning of the game, rebounding the ball. Mm-hmm. That slowed down in the second half as well. Mm-hmm. Why did that slow down more so than his offense, which I believe is solely because Jimmy started jacking up fucking shots?
So before I answer that question, I want to say that I don't think that it slowed down because Jimmy was jacking up shots, though he was shooting more in the second half because he was trying to get himself into the rhythm of the game. But also, Tyler Herro was taking more shots. And the reality of this offense as constructed when Kyle Lowry is not there is it looks a lot like last year's offense. And so they're going to have a lot of last year's offense problems when you don't have a Kyle Lowry. When Kyle Lowry's in the game, how easy did the offense come in the preseason? But let's ignore the preseason. How easy did the offense come against the Bucks the other night? The ball was zipping around the perimeter in the half court when they were, when they get stops and they get a rebound, the ball's, Kyle's finding guys in transition. They're playing at a torrid pace and they're all getting good looks. And for Jimmy specifically, the game was so clean. It was so easy. He put up 21 points in those 23 or 24 minutes that he played through 2.5 quarters, and it looked easy. So that's what the difference is with the offense when Kyle Lowry isn't there. To me, a lot of Jimmy's looks tonight, I mean, we've been talking about this. He had like clean looks or semi-clean looks at the basket that he normally makes, that you expect him to make. He just missed them. It's the second game of the season. I have no concern if you're getting those kind of looks When your offense is put in a suboptimal position because you're short-handed personnel-wise, I have no concern that he's going to make those going forward. That's his shot. That's where his bread and butter is at. But as for Bam, I don't know, man. It's kind of hard to look. Does he need to be more aggressive and try to look for the ball more? In the Milwaukee game, he was coming to get the ball more. Like, they would get into a half-court set and he would run up towards the ball handler or set himself up at the elbow or the high post area and ask for the ball. Kick it back out, repost, get the ball back. I didn't see any of that in the second half tonight. So why is it not happening? I don't really know. I think part of it is, again, I mean, it's kind of going to be the same answer every single time. If Kyle Lowry's out there, he's forcing Bam into those positions. He's putting the ball in his hands in those spots. So part of it is look, it needs to be on Bam. He needs to demand the ball more. You were seeing it in the first half. And the other part is just, they're missing some of the key personnel in order to make the offense look the way that we've seen it look over the last couple of weeks.
Okay. Manny, I'm going to do something right quick. You're not going to have both of these kings on the bottom holding up this pyramid.
Wow.
But yeah, bro. It is what it is.
I'm with it.
Yeah. So I think those guys, I think we've talked about Jimmy and Bam enough. It's the first 20 minutes of the show, and I kind of want to get to everybody on the roster. So let's talk about the man of the hour. Let's talk about Tyler Herro. Tyler Herro had 30 points on 28 goddamn shots.
Yes,
I just want to put that out. I want to point that out, Threat, because that's your man's. He was 3 of 12 from the three-point line, but I will not critique him very much because he was the only thing worth watching on this roster tonight. That man kept us in the game in the first half, and he damn near saved the game for us in the second half. Threat, since you're the biggest Tyler Herro fan here, legitimately, I want you to talk about what you saw from your man tonight. Shh, Ariel, don't worry, bro.
Does my mic sound better? I just need to know.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay.
It's fitting.
For one, man, Tyler Herro is becoming a 3-level scorer, man. I mean, we're seeing it.
No, I'm sorry.
Whoa!
What?
He was about to cook. He was about to cook.
That's how we do it. That's how you doing me right
My
now.
bad.
ISO.
Oh, they should have never gave me producer power. I'm kicking everybody out of here who get Tyler Herro praise.
Man, listen, Tyler Herro is
Let that
becoming
boy
a
ISO.
3-level scorer, man. I don't care what y'all say, man. Yeah, his 3-ball isn't where it needs to be right now. It's a little off. We're kind of seeing that kind of from last year as well, like how his 3-ball is kind of like hindering off. But besides that, man, we saw the mid-range game. We saw him attacking in the paint. We saw him just elevate when the team needed a bucket. I mean, some bonehead plays we saw. He's still doing the stupid pull-up threes. I hate that so much. We saw 2 of them, and one really bad one. I think it was either in the fourth quarter or overtime.
It was a late one.
It was a late one. That was the second one.
That shit was painful to see. But other than that, man, I felt like you can see the evolution in this game, man. I was shocked to see he had the most shot attempts again. Is this a trend that we're going to see for the whole year? Is he going to be really our leading scorer for this team? I mean, he had double Bam's shot attempts at one point in that game going into the fourth. I mean, is that a winning recipe for us? I don't know, but I'm loving what I'm seeing from the evolution of Tyler Herro though, man. 6th man of the year, man, loading.
Yeah, I don't think that's a winning formula. He did almost get to it for the game too. Bam had 15, he had 28. Like I said, but Kendall, go ahead and give me your thoughts on Tyler Herro's game tonight. I'm not gonna slander him tonight, bro. He was legitimately good this game.
He was definitely good all around, especially with that second half performance.
Yeah.
I just felt early, kind of to Ariel's point, with like him jacking up shots. Like I think Tyler was jacking up a lot of shots in that second quarter, and that's kind of when the game got out of hand, and not really out of hand, but that's when they built their lead. He came in and he just looked to score, and I just felt like he was hunting shots so much that he wasn't really looking to help other people get their shots. And especially on nights when Kyle Lowry isn't in the lineup, and especially when Victor Oladipo is in here, he's gonna have to bring some balance to that. I get in the first game he just was looking for a shot because Kyle was there, but he definitely needed to look for other people in the first half. But second half, I can't say anything because the man turned up and he brought us back in the game and kept it close. So. Besides that first half and really trying to facilitate and get other people looks, I really have no beef with Tyler tonight. He played a great game.
Michael Christian, I hate your guts. I am not mad that I cannot slander Tyler Hero. I legitimately want to be wrong about my Tyler Hero, my real feelings about Tyler Hero. I hope that what he does can be consistent. I did not like him, like what Kendall was saying. I did not like him kind of not at all trying to facilitate, considering that Kyle Lowry was out. But when Kyle Lowry's there, I don't care if he doesn't facilitate at all. I don't want him to try and pass the ball. Go out there and shoot that shit. Score. Thank you, Jeff Fresh, for the $4.99. Don't know. He said, depending on Tyler Hero for offense is not going to carry us to the finals. Absolutely not. It's not a winning formula to depend on that kid. It can be good for a bench, though. If he can be our bench scoring by himself, then that is more than enough, bro. That is more than enough for us to be able to get it done with our top five. Christian Cardus, thank you for the $1.99. Don't know. He said, what y'all think Tyler drawing double teams? What do we think about Tyler Hero drawing double teams? I thought that to you, Gad, because there was a point that Tyler Hero started to get a little bit more attention from the defense. It was like after he dropped 25 or something like that. But they started to key in on Tyler because he was our only offensive weapon. So talk about that and his overall game tonight.
Yeah, I think Tyler drawing double teams, obviously it's not going to happen every single night, but just the fact that you can have nights where that can happen is huge for this team. And back to what Threat said, like if you can get Tyler Hero to be that 3-level scorer, like that's the hole that we've had on this team.
Yes.
Like what we've been looking for is a 3-level score. So independent of everything, this is a huge development. This is absolutely massive. Like Tyler Hero being able to be that guy is going to be huge. So I know we lost the game. It's ugly, whatever. But I'm feeling really, really good about Tyler Hero. And that's one of the question marks that everybody had going into the year. How are we going to generate offense? Who's going to be our 3-level scorer? Because with Kyle Lowry, we talked about it. Things go smoothly. And if Kyle Lowry's hurt, then we're not going anywhere. But that happens for any team. Take their third best player, second best player, whatever. They're going to be in shambles. So Tyler Hero taking that step as a 3-level scorer, huge. Huge, huge, huge. And it looks to be legit. Like it was on Brogdon. It was on McConnell. It was on Lamb. He was drawing switches onto Sabonis. It didn't matter who he was getting. He said, all right, you're coming out to me. Time to get cooked. That's it.
I think the development of him being a 3-level scorer is good for everybody. Even Royal. This is good because
I can't wait.
It raises up his trade value. Even if you don't like Tyler Hero, it raises up his trade value. So
Why? You are such a Heat fan, aren't
it's
you?
It's a win-win for everybody.
October 23rd?
You are a truly. Hey, if anybody had any doubts as to whether Threat was a real Heat fan, now you know.
Listen, no, I'm a Tyler Hero guy. I want Hero here. Hero here, but if you're a Tyler Hero hater, dog, it raises up his trade value, and you should be embracing this either way, either side of the coin that you're on. This is good. It's a win-win.
We are here.
That boy Troy trying to become a regular on this post game.
Yeah, we're here.
He knew how to spin that one.
Bro, listen, bro, I shouldn't have
definitely out the Clutch Academy.
Yo, I shouldn't have smiled that much when he said that, bro, because I don't feel like that right now. But god damn, that shit kind of made me.
I'm not doing. I can't have it. I can't have it.
Thank you, Question Everything, for the $2 dono. He said Hero started smoking that Mickey Mouse pack again. For sure. Ariel, I want to get your thoughts on Tyler tonight, bro.
I mean, I wish you'd let me go before Gad. I agree with everything Gad said. Really what it is it's not just like, people look at the numbers and whatever, or people who don't kind of really understand what they're watching sometimes, and they'll say, okay, like he's playing like he was playing in the bubble, and he's making shots and whatever, but it's not that. He's not just hot right now. The game has improved. He's getting to his spots in ways that he hasn't gotten to his spots before. Everything seems to have slowed down for him. Like the way his process when he goes through his reads in the pick and roll and in the half court and in whatever kind of set that he's in, or if he's even just going one-on-one, everything is slowed down. He's not as sped up. You saw there was one specific possession where he's coming up the court, and I think it was TJ McConnell who picked him up. And hey, man, we know TJ McConnell's a pain in the ass. Like, he will pick you up full court and he will strip you and make it tough on you. And you usually just kind of got to give it up. Tyler said nope. Tyler, got tight with the dribble and just took him all the way down court, put him under the basket, and finished with a layup. Like, that's stuff that I don't think Tyler would have got. Tyler would have got that ball stripped from him last year. So the strength, the athleticism, the quickness, the handle, everything's improved. And the way that he's getting to his shots, he's getting such clean looks from the mid-range now that Do I think it's sustainable? Like, absolutely. And then if you combine all of that, those actual like tangible improvements to his game with the numbers, I mean, he's got 57 points in the first 2 games of the season. And if the Milwaukee game hadn't been an absolute, take them out back and slaughter them type of game, he would have played the fourth quarter. He might have had 40 because he played like 24 minutes or something, and he had 27 or whatever. So yeah, like I actually think I agree with Ethan. I hate saying that, but I agree with Ethan. I think he's going to lead the team in scoring this year. And I don't agree with anybody who thinks that relying on him is bad for the team. It won't carry you to the final. You just need him to get buckets. When the team is whole, all he has to do is get buckets. There's nothing else to it. He just has to get buckets, the playmaking, just the ball flying up the court, all the other components that go into running a good offense don't fall on his shoulders. He just has to get buckets, and he looks to have taken that step, as Gad said, as a 3-level scorer. If that's all he has to do, I think that he can be very successful with that.
I think for me with Tyler, it's a much different thing. It's not much different, but it's kind of to what you're talking about. Of course, the game looks like it's slowed down for him, but we always knew that Tyler Herro was a scorer. He's starting to look like an NBA level scorer at this point. Yes, it's not just a 3-level scorer. Like, we always knew he was a scorer. He could score on anybody, but at the NBA level, it was tough for him to be a consistent NBA. I think we're seeing him take the next step in becoming a consistent scorer. It may not always end in 30 points, but to say that he can get to 16, 17 points consistently is not a stretch at this point because of the way that he's going about his business. Like, he's, like you said, the TJ McConnell shit, like, that shit was impressive to watch for a little bit. You know what I mean? But I think with a little bit more time in this new role, getting more comfortable, then the shot selection will improve a little bit. That transition 3 will hopefully leave that motherfucker's game entirely, and then we'll be talking about it completely.
That's the only part of his game, though, that I think we can legit harp on in terms of shot selection. Like, I think the vast majority of his shot selection is very good. Some of those threes, he ends up having the ball in his hand with like 5 seconds on the clock, 4 seconds on the clock, and he's like just the release valve. Like, he just has to throw something up, and he's not the best at creating separation all the time, so he's gonna have to take some contested jumpers from time to time. But other than that transition 3, which I mean it's kind of hard to defend it, so I'm not gonna try. I think his shot selection is really good. Like, he doesn't make threes; he'll go like 7, 8, 9 straight times into the mid-range area and try to make jumpers from there, and he's elite at it. Like, we might be seeing the development of an elite mid-range shooter.
Stop using the word elite and Tyler Herro in the same sentence. It is making
mid-range assassin. I love
it.
The boy called him Devin Booker.
Devin Booker has a Tyler Herro ceiling, if we're being honest right now.
Ooh, that's a bar. That's a bar.
Shut your ass up. Thank you, Nicholas Vasquez, for the $4.99. Don't know. He said off topic, but the Pacers announcers are the most Mount Rushmore of obnoxious.
Get yourself Badly Sports.
Bro, I had the displeasure of listening to the Pacers broadcast for about 5 minutes, and it was towards the end of the game when they thought whatever that rookie's name was going to make that 3.
Oh, bro, my God, Duarte.
Bro, he was kicking our ass tonight.
He's tough. He's tough.
Him and Brissett, man.
Who the fuck is O'Shea Brissett?
Jacoby Brissett was hooping.
Hey, that's all I heard of O'Shea Brissett before.
I have, but I hate all the Brissetts. Oh,
he was genuinely good to end last year when the Pacers were in shambles. That's all I'm gonna say. But
who the fuck is that, bro? Like, why
who was better tonight, O'Shea Brissett or Jimmy Butler?
O'Shea Brissett for sure.
O'Shea Brissett
by far.
I mean, he was better than more than
everybody on the team.
Except for Tyler. Yeah.
Yeah, he should get that $180 million contract. When's he a free agent? Maybe we can get him.
Alex already mentioned on the halftime spaces.
Oh yeah, he did. You're right.
So we got 2 other guys that we got to get to from the starting lineup. Because PJ Tucker really wasn't worth talking about.
You stop that. No, I disagree with that entirely.
What?
I love PJ Tucker.
I love PJ Tucker too.
I love PJ Tucker.
You don't have to pound the table for that, Ariel. Like, everybody loves PJ Tucker.
No,
there's nothing to talk about with
I disagree.
Who's everybody?
I disagree. First of all, he messed his ankle up pretty bad, and then dude stayed in the game, right? And he took charges from Sabonis, Turner. He was putting his body in the way, getting up, hobbling every single time, and every time he's presented with that opportunity to slide his feet, get in the way of a 250-pound dude barreling to the basket, he does it. I love that dude.
Okay,
But
that's
what
okay.
about the 3-pointers?
How many points does
He hit
Grit
the side
get
of
you,
the
dog?
back. He hit the side of the backboard one time, ain't he?
Can I? Yeah. Let's.
How many
I was
points
trying to
does
spare
Grit
him
get you?
this. I was trying to spare him.
We're not doing this, guys. Come on.
I said
Bro,
not
what
doing
do
it.
you
You the one who brought it up.
No, I no, but this is the type of thing that I bring up, and you all just agree with me, and then you don't bring up the fact that he shot it off the side of the backboard because he's not here to get buckets.
I knew they were not going to agree with you, but since you had your piece, I'm gonna let them speak theirs. Go ahead, Threat.
I just wanted to know how many points Grit gets you. That's all I want to know.
How
many
many
points does Grit
He
get?
ain't here for that. I don't know.
Points.
Well, he had
36
8 in the
Zero.
last game, so he's averaging 4 a game now. So that's 4.
But we talking
That's
about
around
the
the
game
quota.
today.
That's what we're paying
Today, we needed PJ Tucker today as well.
No, if you needed PJ Tucker to score points today, you were going to lose anyways. I promise you.
we
You didn't need PJ to get buckets.
We could have used any of those corner threes that touched the side of the backboard. We could
It
have
was
used
one.
Any
Stop
of them.
it. It was
Yeah,
one.
the rest of them didn't touch anything, Ariel.
How many
Can
were
I say
there?
one thing about
Three.
PJ?
Go ahead.
Please.
So, Ariel, I'm with you. If we're relying on PJ for any offensive production, we lost that fight and we lost that contract. Like, that is
Yes.
a given. That's not what the expectation. So, for his role, he was phenomenal tonight. One play in specific that really, really pissed me off. Late in the game, Chris Duarte, for some reason, calls for an ISO on one Bam Adebayo. They set the screen.
Nice switch.
They do the laziest switch of all time where PJ waves off Bam.
Yeah, I noticed
You
that too.
waved off- PJ, you are the third best defender on the floor for the Miami Heat. You cannot be waving off Bam Adebayo in an isolation situation. That is literally a negative points added play for the Indiana Pacers. And it was Chris Duarte. He was about to learn #the lesson. And PJ took that moment away. He was too short, and Duarte splashed it in his face.
Yeah, so
I agree.
That was a tough shot. though.
I don't blame.
That was a
I don't
tough
blame
shot.
PJ for that. I blame Bam for that. When PJ Tucker
PJ
waves you
waved
off,
him off.
PJ's
PJ
out
was
there to
one
be a
of the-
defender, though. Like, I don't blame. Like, that's his mentality.
If PJ Tucker waves off Bam Adebayo, Bam slaps PJ Tucker in the face. Hey, get your fucking ass over there.
Fair. But I
Like,
think
that's-
it's on
that's-
both of them. It's on both of them. You know what? It is on both of them.
That's what it's like. One of y'all trying to wave me off on this show. It's never gonna happen.
It's never going to happen.
It's never gonna happen. I'm not gonna let it. But you got to mean your name, Kendall. So go ahead and talk about PJ Tucker.
I mean, it just looks tough out there. Yes, he defends, but when he puts up that shot, I've been saying it. Them shots from the corners, he be building them brick houses, man. Hitting the side of the backboard. He gotta hit his open shots, man. It's crucial to us. Especially, they knew Kyle Lowry was out before us. So yes, as fans, we don't expect PJ to get buckets. Like, I'm not expecting him to score 10, 12 points. But it's imperative, like, for this team to like win games, we're gonna need production from that power forward spot, that 4 spot. Because I already know with Markieff, we ain't getting nothing with Markieff. Like, that's just like out of the equation. So PJ, you the $7 million man playing the 4 spot, 35 minutes. You gotta hit 1 or 2 threes, bro. Like, that's all I'm expecting. 1 or 2 threes from the corner.
He went 2 or 3 in the first game.
You talking about the first game?
Hold up. No,
You talking
that's
about
not
the
how this
first
works.
game? I'm talking about tonight.
That's
It
not
is how it works with me.
I'm going to talk
'Cause
about
you
the
can-
first game as well.
Go
You
ahead.
can't
You
just
can
do
talk
that.
about it.
Oh, so I can now. Okay, thank you. So he went 2 or 3 in the first game. He goes 0 or 3 tonight. I agree with you. You want him to make at least one of those 3. You know, shoot 30. If PJ Tucker shoots like 35% from 3.
I was trying to go there before they start talking about PJ fucking Tucker. Go
If
ahead.
PJ Tucker shoots like 35% from 3 or whatever, I think we all take that, right? But like you said, we need production out of that 4 spot. I totally agree. Again, though, if you're counting on it from PJ Tucker, then you either don't understand the roster construction, which I obviously know is not the case. Y'all know what you're talking about. Or B, like, you just got to understand that it's going to have to come from somewhere else because he wasn't brought in to give you offensive production.
It's not.
So it's just, and again, bringing up
Markieff isn't producing
dude, 100%, $7 million a year. That's less than the mid-level exception. That's less than what an average NBA player makes. So I think we need to temper our expectations a little bit in terms of what he's supposed to give you offensively.
So
You're on mute.
Oh my gosh.
I'm unmuting. Don't worry. I don't want to talk about PJ Tucker at all because this is going to be in the wheelhouse of games that PJ Tucker is going to give you. Like, he's going to do it.
It'll happen.
It's PJ Tucker game. Like, I don't expect much more or less. His game wasn't good or bad in my eyes. It was a PJ Tucker game. So it's like, fuck him. Now let's talk about who I wanted to talk about, which is I want to talk about Gabe Vincent.
Oh, let's do it.
Oh yeah, Gadiel Cartagena, you first.
The last name ain't Nambi.
Listen,
This
listen.
was an unmitigated disaster from the beginning of the game. Listen, you guys know I try to come on here and defend him as a minimum level player in the NBA. He was not even a minimum level player in the G League tonight. Like, no, if I'm being completely honest, like
YMCA League, you mean?
barely. Like, he wouldn't start on most YMCA teams the way he played tonight.
He ain't starting with this starting five.
It was terrible. It was really, really bad.
He ain't starting before us.
Gabe isn't gonna get on the post up with the way that boy played.
Hey, that's a friend of the network, yo.
All the slander is deserved. It is all deserved.
He's a friend of 5 on the floor. I said he couldn't get on this show. Maybe next time. Not tonight.
I'm with you.
Yeah, because
You can't be scared to play basketball when you're put into a starting role.
Yeah.
You can't. Like, he was scared to dribble, scared to shoot, scared to do anything. The one layup that he made it looked like a complete fluke. It was off the top of the left side of the glass. Like, I was shocked that ball went in. You just can't do that. And then you go, like, Chris Duarte cooks you when you actually play good defense. You just push him on the other side of the floor. Like, just stupid plays. Like, not composed. Those types of things just cannot happen. I don't care when the next time he plays is, if he ever plays again this season, like, barring injury. Like, honestly, like, the chances are going to be limited, and you can't play like this in that type of moment. It sucks to see, but there's a big hole there. And I'm not for transactions or whatever, but I pray to God one of those point guards gets loose on the buyout market.
Thank you for bringing that up, because Ariel, since you're out here pumping sunshine and rainbows out your ass, did you think that this illuminated the need for an additional point guard on this roster watching Gabe Vincent play basketball tonight?
Is your question, are you asking me like right now, like they need to do this?
Why are you asking me what my question is? I just asked.
Hold up. Is your question like, are you asking me do they need to address this like right now, or does this need to be addressed by the deadline? Because I have a different answer.
Give me both of them, because I don't understand the difference.
You know what? I have one answer. His name is Victor Oladipo. He's on the roster. He's going to be back in a couple of months, and I think we all need to relax and wait and see what happens until then.
But Ariel, can I counterpoint here?
Always.
That's not the right picture, Manny. Go find the Victor Oladipo picture.
Go find Ethan's picture.
Yeah, go find Ethan's picture. I don't know where it's
My thing is, like, when was the last time Victor Oladipo, from a health perspective, was someone that can be relied on? It's too much of a variable that you need to have another like backup plan. There needs to be a contingent there. You can't go the next 40 games saying when we get Victor back.
Right.
I want to see him back. I want to see him healthy. I do not want to rely on that man for a single thing. And whatever he get is great.
Falling off the
Hey,
bones,
man,
man.
I'm going to put up a Alana comment. Alana say, I'm not that difficult to deal with on Clutch Corner. Yes, you are, because you don't answer questions. When I ask Ariel a question, he's asking me a question, and I don't like that. It makes my head hurt. He's asking me a question about what my question was. It's just weird, bro. Like,
look, I'll wrap it up just by saying that again, and I've said this like fucking every single time. This is a question related to what the Heat might need to add or what kind of issues they have personnel-wise. Wait until the deadline. They are not going to be at 500 like Kai Chen Chisholm thinks they will be. They will be better than that. And around the deadline, and more specifically the buyout deadline, the team will look different. So everybody just...
That's a long wait, Ariel. We are impatient with people.
We are one turned ankle away, bro. Like, one terrible ankle turn away, bro.
Listen, I am...
Y'all give me 1 second. Manny, you can go ahead. I'll finish up, bro. If you need to go, I can finish up.
All good. I'll wait.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want you to get locked in there.
I don't really.
I mean, they got nobody else here to run games, man, but me. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want you to get. I'm sorry that we having an off-camera discussion.
No, you good.
Okay. So thank you, Mix, for the 199. Don't know. He said they forgot Nnamdi in Tokyo and brought back Gabe.
Sadly,
yeah, for sure. You was about to jump in. Go ahead, bro.
Number one, he gave you one game over there. He wasn't even cooking over there. Number one. Number two, I'm the biggest Gabe Vincent hater, and I'll gladly wear that. He's awful to me. I knew we were in trouble when people on the timeline were requesting that we put Brandon Knight. If someone pull up Brandon Knight, like I knew
that's a troll tweet. That gotta be a troll.
That was crazy. That's how I knew we were in trouble. But yeah, we that spot is a tricky one. We're relying on Victor Oladipo to come back at what? 70% Oladipo. Do we get that? his meat is falling off the bone, like Kendall
The
said.
quad is off the bone.
Are we really gonna get? What are we really gonna get?
What's
Should we
better,
have
1%?
expectations for Depot right now? Are we setting ourselves up for disappointment?
100%
Hold up. But we saw the Heat's regular season rotation in the first game of the season, the one game where they were healthy, right? Gabe Vincent didn't see a second on the court.
Yeah.
So it might,
One.
again, let's say you have Vic, right? There are no minutes for Gabe Vincent. Vic might not even have that big a role anyways. And if you've got Kyle Lowry, then I think the issue might just kind of be moot. Like, it might just not matter.
Yeah, thank you, Prop by Pack TV for the 199 dono. He said we really might need John Wall. We'll say that. Yeah, I'm with it too. But we'll save that conversation for a different one. Thank you, Manny, for putting up the primary sponsor of the Five Reasons Sports Post Game Show, Insurance by Lynette up there. Make sure y'all check out Aggressive Insurance. Go to www.insurancebyLynette.com or give her a call at 954-581-8800 for all of your insurance needs. That is a wonderful lady who follows me on Twitter, and I love interacting with her, and she's always in the comments. So holler at her and get everything that you need done for your insurance needs. Kendall, you gonna wrap us up on the Gabe Vincent conversation, bro?
I got nothing, bro.
Just
like him on the court. I got nothing from.
I thought you were gonna say your patented line.
Oh no. We gonna say that because that boy is about to get a one-way ticket to the Wong Tiger. Meow.
Okay, so let's talk about somebody who we haven't seen much from during the preseason or the regular season.
Let's talk about it.
It's too early to have the full-blown conversation on Duncan Robinson, but I think it's early enough and we've seen enough that we can have a conversation about Duncan Robinson. He has not looked good this season. And I don't know if it's we talked about this last time. I don't know if it's the way that he's getting his shots. What is the 2 for, Manny? I don't know what it's for.
It's either peace or 2 minutes.
For 2 games, man.
Yeah, but it was like,
come on, dude.
But the preseason, but it's a compilation
he was bad
of
in
the
the
preseason.
preseason.
He was bad in the preseason too. So it's like,
God.
But listen. This game,
you guys
was more so
slander
like
PJ for one damn leg, man. I just don't understand. Man.
Thank you, Manny.
I get it.
Because that's what this show is. This show is a courtroom.
I knew this was gonna go. I knew this whole thing was gonna play out like this. I was so ready.
This is a courtroom. When you go out there, you commit crimes on the basketball court wearing a Miami Heat jersey. You have to come to the law offices of Royal A. Shepard, Gadiel Cartagena, and Ariel Latiz. That's what you got to do. You got to come out here and you got to pay for your crimes.
I'm just really upset.
Is robbing the Miami Heat of $18 million right now.
Stop it. Oh my God.
Robbing.
Listen, we were told that Bam was going to be a difference maker and a scorer at will.
Right.
No Lowry tonight. Fourth quarter, what the fuck? Whether if it was calls not being called to him or he basically just stood on the side, and it was basically the Herro and Butler show for the fourth quarter.
Well, Tyler was cooking.
Well, let me get this straight. Are you saying that we should blame Bam instead of Duncan Robinson?
No.
I thought Bam was okay.
Last year. Wait a minute.
Why?
Last year, we bitched about Bam because he was too passive aggressive, right?
Right.
This game, it seemed like we didn't even want him to even have an opportunity. and I understand that Tyler was cooking, but man, you got to be able to feed your big man out there.
Man, the one guy that's going to put him in those positions we've literally seen the offense over. We've had like a 6-game sample size. I get that, the 5 preseason games that Lowry played in didn't count, of course, but we see what the offense looks like. We see what they're working on behind the scenes. And then we saw it in the first game. That guy not being there changes everything.
No,
we can't understate it.
That's very much so a fact. But what I'm saying is it shouldn't only be one guy that's a part of that game plan.
Yes.
Every guy on this roster has to know and accept the fact that Bam Adebayo should get the damn ball.
So who is the guy on whom's shoulders it falls on the most?
Hey,
it's not Tyler.
No, whose shoulders it on the most?
I agree that I think it's Jimmy and Kyle. Jimmy and Kyle. That's where the blame goes.
Yeah, but Tyler as a playmaker on this team, if he's sharing the court with Bam Adebayo, I get it. You're the bench scorer. But Bam Adebayo is this team's franchise player. Get him the damn ball from time to time in the second half. That's what I'm saying. There should be no points in the game where we go away from Bam, no matter what the lineup is, because that's our guy.
I agree with that in general. Tonight specifically, Tyler Herro taketh, right, in the second quarter when the Pacers went on their run, and that's somebody mentioned Tyler Herro's plus minus for the game. That's really what skewed it. The second quarter and then that terrible overtime that he was out there for the whole. But again, you're not blaming Tyler Herro for what happened in overtime. That's kind of stupid. No. But not you. I mean, the commenter.
Yeah, I know.
But so he taketh, right, and he giveth as well, because in the third quarter and in the fourth quarter, he literally saved their butts. He was the reason they were in that game. The defense and offensively, the team defense, and then offensively, it was Tyler Herro putting the team in that position. I don't blame him for not looking for Bam in those spots. He's cooking. He has like 15 or 18 and whatever it is in the second half. I don't blame him.
But I'm not blaming Tyler, but I'm saying that there should be pockets where we're giving Bam the opportunity to cook, and we were not giving him that opportunity in the second half.
It also needs to be on him, by the way. Like, he needs to come up and get the damn ball.
Fair enough. But let's circle this conversation back around to where the hell I had it, which is at Duncan Robinson, whose ass has not been playing. Don't worry, Threat, bro. This conversation will never go away from what the fuck I want to talk about. I want to talk about Duncan Robinson. So, Gad, you ain't talked in a long time. Gad, talk about Duncan Robinson. What is it in his game? Are you worried? General, just whatever, bro.
No, I'm not worried. I just think the types of shots he's getting this year are different. Like in the first game, he was literally shocked at how open he was, right? Like he was so open. We know what Duncan does when he gets those open shots. He doesn't know what to do. He literally does not know what to do. So that's just why I don't think he had the best game one. Today, specifically in the first half. The second half, I thought his off-ball movement was fine. There was just zero ball movement. Like the ball was not being passed around in the second half. But in the first half, he was struggling to get loose with screens. Like running around those screens, he was just struggling to get loose. He's going to be completely okay. But he has to be better off ball. I think that's just one thing from game to game I'm going to keep tracking. Like he has to be able to get loose. If he can't do that, regardless of who's passing him the ball or whatever, he has to be able to get open and at least get his shots off. It felt like tonight he wasn't even looking to get them off half the time, which is fine if you're passing the ball, but he wasn't really doing that either. There was a few of those passes to Bam, but that's really it. So that's just what I want to see moving forward. He'll be okay. I'll give it like 10, maybe 20 more games until I start to look at this and say, damn, that's a big problem. But even if it does become a problem, that contract is the most tradable contract on our team.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a transaction guy.
We done talked about trades twice already. Just for context.
Share a
no, wait. I got you. Oh, go ahead, please. No.
So he said, I just got to be better overall. I let my offense dictate my defense tonight. That's not how to play basketball.
We're talking about Duncan still?
No. That was Jimmy.
Butler.
Okay. Because Duncan shot 5 of 10.
I was just about to say that.
What are we doing?
To give it context, Duncan Robinson didn't shoot the ball bad. But does that mean that he played well, Ariel?
I don't think he had a great game. No, I agree.
Okay, that's and I think
I'm just saying he's not shooting bad. And again, last season, he had a stretch up until the All-Star break where we were all, or the trade deadline rather, we were all freaking out because his numbers were down 5-6% from 3 for the year, and then he got hot after the break. So I mean, he's a shooter, man. He'll be fine. I'm not worried about him.
Ariel,
one thing I want to add about
your context, bro. Go ahead, Kendall.
One thing I want to add about Duncan, man. Like when he's ran off the 3-point line, he can shoot the little pull-up mid-range shot. I know he doesn't, but it was there. It was one time he did it, and he legit passed the ball backwards. And it's like, bro, what are you doing passing the ball backwards? You got an open shot right in front of you.
When I saw that play, me and Kendall literally text each other at the same time. He had a dude crab behind him, wide open mid-range, and he threw it backwards to Bam to reset to shoot the 3 ball again. That's kind of what I wanted to see from Duncan this year, man. I'm not going to trash Duncan too much because I'm really not too worried about Duncan, but I did want to see the dribble pull up when he gets ran off the 3-point line like JJ Redick added to his game. That's all I want to see from him. Just the 1-2 step little mid-range dribble pull up. That's all I want to see. And we'll see. It's a long season. It's only the second game, so I'm not going to sit here and trash Duncan Robinson. I think he'll figure it out. And even if he doesn't, man, I'm not going to bring up the trade. Let me not say that. But, you know what I'm saying? I think he'll be fine. That's all. I'm going to leave it at that. I think he'll be good, man.
I think
Sniper game.
Yeah, I think everybody got a chance to jump in here on Duncan right quick. Just talk about pick a play off of the bench because I think that's something that we really need to focus on. The Dedmon minutes weren't good. The Markieff Morris minutes haven't been good all year. Max Strus, Max Strus was okay. You know what I mean for Max Strus, but you know what I mean. Like, what are we gonna do about specifically the power rotation? What are we gonna do about the power rotation? Thank you. What are we gonna have to do about the power rotation off the bench? Ariel, we'll start with you because you know the most about like X's and O's on basketball. Just being honest,
they're gonna have to address it elsewhere. It's not coming from this team. I mean, I think the only if you're not making any sort of move, your real only option here is again, and this only works if the team is healthy. If you've got all of your personnel, or at the very least, you've got Kyle Lowry. You might not need Victor Oladipo, but you go death lineup, you put Jimmy at the 4, you spread it out with 4 perimeter players, and you got Bam at the 5, and that's it. But I don't think that that's something that's sustainable over the course of the season. It's something you can go to in stretches, just for a few minutes, maybe to close out games, close out halves, stuff like that. But if like really we're talking about how do we address the production issue from the power rotation outside of Bam, you got to get it elsewhere. It's going to have to come in the buyout market or the trade market. Like, that's just the reality because it's not on this roster. Like Markieff Morris, you can't rely on him to give you buckets. He'll have a game like every 10 games, like, you know, or 15 games like Andre Iguodala where he just decides to be good. And then the rest of the time, he's kind of going to suck. As for PJ Tucker, you know, he's going to give you defense. He's going to give you hustle. He's going to give you culture. Other than that, you're not going to get buckets from him. He's going to make a corner 3 or 2 every other game, and that's it. So, yeah, it's not on the roster. They're going to have to get it elsewhere.
PJ Tucker went up for a layup, and it went through the bottom of the basket. That's crazy.
He made a layup in the last game. That's 1 for 2.
It looked like he struggled to get that bit through the hoop, though, Aaron. That's
so funny.
How confident are y'all in that PJ Tucker scoring 15 points thing? After the
it's going to happen one time.
All right.
Wait, somebody said that?
That's the bet that we made with Marco on Full Court Press. If PJ Tucker had to score 15 points in one game, Marco would get a PJ Tucker jersey.
Oh, yeah. We did make that bet, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't pick a side.
I'll just give him mine because
Connect me with Marco because
I mean, it's a win-win for me because he didn't flip it on me. He didn't like, well, if he doesn't, you got to do this. So let's hope Marco doesn't watch this.
Yeah, let me talk to Marco off camera. Gad, is Dedmon going to stay in the roster in the rotation? His sneaker game is all that matters. No, it's not.
For the whole season?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see, unless you see like leaps and bounds from Omer Yurtseven, which is possible, but I'm not expecting it. Like,
no, I'm talking about like, are they going to experiment with the Markieff at the 5 thing? Because Dedmon was probably the worst of the two tonight, in my opinion. Like with the moving screens, yeah, he was just bad tonight. And so, like, do you see them experimenting with the Markieff at the 5 as opposed to trotting Dedmon out there as the second big?
I mean, yeah, I think Spo's going to struggle with the bench pretty much the entire year. So he's going to go mad scientist at sometimes and try some things that we're going to absolutely hate. But I mean, I don't really care as long as they figure it out by the playoffs.
Oh yeah, they're definitely going to have that figured out. They're going to have it figured out by next game when they inevitably get back on track to 81-1. Any final thoughts on this? Let's go around with everybody. Just give me your final thoughts on the game before we talk about the next game. So we'll start with you, Threat.
I still like our defense. We had lapses in the game, but I still like our defense as a whole. I think we're going to be a great defensive team. I think when Kyle comes back, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna get back to rolling. 81-1 is on the way. Just chill. We good. The power forward rotation, the big man rotation behind Bam is absolutely horrendous, and we'll figure that out hopefully by the deadline.
And the backup point guard position is also horrendous, and we're going to figure that out way sooner than that. Yeah. Everybody who's still in here, I think we got 235 unique viewers in here. Hey, everybody who in here, make sure y'all hit that like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's not just this show. It is loads of heat content coming at you in fucking waves. Literally every hour on the hour, there's something new coming from 5 Reasons Sports. If you like this stuff, you'll like everything else. So make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Like this video specifically so that I can get more money from you. Kendall, give me your final thoughts on the game, bro.
Gabe Vincent. Get your passport ready, my brother. One-way ticket to the Wong Dong Tigers. Ni hao.
Bro, you are a fucking clown. Gad.
No, this team's going to be fine. I think our defense, like what we saw tonight, I know people are going to complain, nitpick. Was Duncan bad on defense? Yes. Max Strus had the worst second quarter I maybe have ever seen defensively. Like, he was getting killed. He probably had like 20 points scored on him tonight. Like, not an exaggeration at all. But he's had good moments as well. He competes, so I think he'll be fine. The rotation is a 9-man rotation. Gabe Vincent should not be in that rotation. Jimmy Butler, this will probably be a bottom 3 game for him this entire year.
For sure.
It might not be the worst because we've seen some really ugly games before, but he's gonna be all right. And if there is gonna be a 10th man, I would love to see Caleb Martin get that shot.
Yeah, if he's going to be worse offensively, he's still going to be a menace defensively in one of those 3 games that you mentioned. Also, thank you, Kai Chen Chisholm, for putting this in the comment section. But yeah, everybody make sure you watch Yard Prep and the Final Yard tomorrow. I have no idea why you want to watch people talk about the Miami Dolphins, but I'm going to be on there talking about them motherfuckers. So make sure you watch the pregame show and the postgame show for the Miami Dolphins game tomorrow. Ariel, wrap us up on this game. Well, no, Manny's going to wrap us up. But Ariel, give me your thoughts on this game. You send your ass in here, so you're going to talk too.
A lot of what Gad said. The team is going to be fine when they're at full strength, which won't be all the time, which is something that we talked about in the preseason and in the offseason. So to act like for everybody to freak out now that they look like crap when they're missing one of their most important players, I think is a little crazy. But as far as the projection and the outlook for this team, they're going to be fine. They're built for the playoffs. They're not going to win 55 games in the regular season. That's not how this team is constructed. Guys are going to miss games. They are going to be fine. They're not a finished product. Kyle Lowry will get back. He was, Eric Reed had mentioned that he wanted to play tonight. So it's not something that's probably all that serious based on that. He might be back on Monday. I would expect he'd probably be back by the Wednesday game in Brooklyn or at home versus Brooklyn, whatever that is. The team will be fine. They've looked phenomenal every time Kyle's been on the court. Everything's good. Everyone breathe.
Ariel, this is probably one of the first time that I haven't liked anything that came out of your mouth this entire episode, bro.
Damn.
It's
I want to hear
been
Kendall say more ni hao.
Yeah, go ahead. Disrespect this team, boy. Ariel's been with this perspective shit.
Wong Dong Tigers. Ni hao.
Yes.
Manny, wrap us up on this game, man. Give us your thoughts. Tell us what you thought, bro.
Well, despite an overall bad performances by everyone except for Tyler Herro, listen, this game still went into overtime. You had an opportunity to win it under 1 minute. I'm still trying to figure out some offensive playing balls under the 1 minute in the fourth quarter sequence. But listen, I mean, this Heat team probably last season would have been blown out by 20.
Yep.
I don't see this coming. I'm just being honest, man. Easily. So, but man, 14 offensive rebounds. That's not good on the road, man. You got to be more, you know what I'm saying? It just felt like the Pacers on a team that was back to back. And if I'm correct, Turner was in foul trouble, so he wasn't even in there, I think.
Oh, that guy sucks.
Right?
That's asparagus, bro. I hate him. He throws a bow at Jimmy for no reason, and then every time he goes in the paint, his like post game is the funniest thing ever. He's so stiff.
He stinks. I hate him.
He's still better than Kristaps Porzingis, but
the man did score 40 last night, and then Gad said, "Yeah, he ain't gonna do shit tonight." So hey, I guess he got that prediction right, or something.
Mickey Mouse 40 points, not happening again.
Gaddy Carnahan is a genius.
Oh, fact. Let's see how this team answers against damn Orlando Magic on Monday night. I'll be there. I know the Heat fans can't wait. It's just like again, it was a bad game. I don't blame coach and company to say, Lowry, hey, listen, no. Don't come in, because who knows if he would have driven to the rack and, I mean, come on, let's be honest here. Kyle Lowry hasn't played basketball in the full season since 2 years ago, right? So we don't want to rush it. But maybe this is a game that Spo needed to see what needs to be worked on, which is a lot. But that's fine. I mean, listen, we're not going to go 82-0. It's quite clear. And like I said,
now it's impossible.
Oh, shit.
Going 81-1.
So hey, listen, let's all calm down. Now, if this team doesn't perform great on Monday, then we can start to get a little bit worrisome per se because now what the fuck's going on, right?
I think we'll take the Pat Riley approach and give it like 20 games. Like realistically, of course, after they lose, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to.
By the way, guys, let's not forget this team. I think plays like their first 8 or 9 opponents were all playoff teams, right? So we're going to see in 20 games or so what's basically this team is about, thinking that we're all healthy. You got the Nuggets, you got the Jazz, you got the Lakers, you got all these,
The Lakers, that's a cakewalk.
Right, that's easy. That team. Sorry.
Just pass the ball around. That's all you got to do. They can't keep up with it.
We got a lot of road games too that go on with that. So let's kind of wrap this up because we've been going for a little over an hour. Let's talk about the Orlando Magic. Kai, get away from here, bro. That's not what's happening. They're undefeated. Let's talk about the Orlando Magic. Manny, the boy feeling good?
Boy feeling good. Boy feeling great. I feel like this team gets back home. Kyle Lowry actually has a good offensive game this time. When I mean good, I mean points. Again, though, it is the Magic, so I'm like, the boy feeling good. There we go.
There we go. Ariel.
The boy feeling great. I mean, we talked about on the pregame show about how this had letdown game written all over it. Now we all picked the Heat, but man, coming off that game against the Bucks, a game that they all, I'm sure, circled on their calendars and got up for, right? You go to Indiana after blowing that team out against a team that you should beat, and you have a letdown game. Kyle Lowry doesn't play. The offense looks like shit. All of that stuff. I'm not going to freak out. I think they get home, they beat the crap out of the Magic on Monday, and then they go on to Brooklyn.
For sure. Gadiel Cartagena, the boy feeling good?
The boy feeling great. If we lose, I will be in shambles. And it's a young team with nothing on the scouting report. Honestly, nothing in terms of actual like tangible, professional, like really good NBA talent. And those types of schemes, those types of teams for some reason thrive against the Miami Heat. You saw it last year with the Clippers when they had their G Leaguers playing. So it might not be a 30-point blowout, but it should be. I'm feeling good about this game, though.
All right. Kendall, the boy feeling good?
The boy feeling good about the Magic. Hey, they better bust their ass. Because if they do not, I got 18 one-way tickets to the Waldong Tigers. Meow.
Threat, the boy feeling good?
Hey man, the boy feeling good. Man, Orlando is coming off a back-to-back when we play them, man. So I mean, we should bust their ass. I feel like they're probably the worst team in the league. It's a team.
But Indiana's coming off a back-to-back. Look what happened on
but
in their own two, they needed this one.
And they're not bad. Like Indiana's not bad.
Orlando's on 2 as well, but I do feel like the Magic are the worst team in the league. They got a team full of Gabe Vincent and KZ Okpalas, and I think we'll do work, man. They got a lot of guys on that roster that will be the tallest grocery bagger in the world. So we'll be all right. We'll be all right, man. I'm telling you, we good.
Man, everybody already know I'm finna go with this shit. The Heat about to win this game by the hair on their chinny chin chin. Because goddamn, it's the Orlando Magic. The first time we played them all year. You know it. MJ Ross
is
coming for it. He tongue out and everything, Kendall. Listen, Miami's going to win the game, but they're going to barely get up out of there. It's the Orlando Magic. I expect nothing less from them, no matter who is on their roster. And as long as they have MJ Ross, they have a chance of even squeaking out the win. But I think this is going to leave a bitter taste in Miami's mouth. They're going to bounce back. So, thank you guys in the comments, as always, for joining the show, making it much more fun than it would have been without you. Thank you to my guy, Manny, the Kang himself, a threat, the other Kang himself, Kendall, the white Kang himself, Cartagena. I don't really know what ethnicity Ariel is, but the Canadian Kang, Ariel.
The Maple Leaf Prince.
Right, exactly. And thank you to our sponsor of the program, Aggressive Insurance. Please, 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 whatever you do, the 179 of y'all still in here, make sure y'all follow her on Twitter. Her Twitter is Aggressive Insurance. You can follow her on Instagram at Aggressive Insurance. Or if you just really need to get in contact with her, make sure you visit www.insurancebylynette.com or give her a call at 954-581-8800. So we will see you guys on Monday. Play the video, Manny.